So I just saw 47 meters down Uncaged, and it was... Now I saw the first 47 meters down, and that was even more. Because the science in there is even more. So I guess the creators of the first saw the reaction to their movie of how inaccurate the sharks were portrayed when it comes to attacking, and they were right. You see, I know quite a lot about marine biology, and the way the sharks moved, attacked, bit, stalked were all wrong. You know that shot from Jaws 3D? That's how most shark attacks in this movie happen. And they have the excuse that the sharks are blind and therefore their other senses heightened. But even that is never really leading to something because the sharks appear to be nerfed more than anything. So let's dive into the story, shall we? Mia gets pushed into the water by a bully character and her extras. And her sister-in-law, Sasha, doesn't help. They don't really have a bond, and it's pretty stock that, of course, through the course of the movie, this must shape up to be a better bond than they initially started out with. The dad sets up a diving trip for them to see the great white shark up close in a glass underwater cage, but they think it's lame and for tourists. So the friends of Sasha pick the duo up after they see the bully character is there also. They go to a secluded spot where the dad's crew was going to dive the following day, but they left their equipment there in advance, so the next day they would be ready to go. The girls have a 3-minute show off my body scene where they're swimming in their bikinis and splashing and giggling and lots of slow motion, lots of ass cam and all that stuff. Boring. The girls we'll be spending the time with are Mia, the nerd,
Alexa,
the leader, Sasha, the sister of the nerd. She doesn't really have a personality, then again, none of the girls really have one.
Nicole.
The extra? Besides saying that she found the bully character hot, she doesn't really have a line in this, so yay, just an extra for the kill count.
Alexa
Starts talking about that she found the spot when she was making out with one of the divers, and that there is a Mayan city down there built on a sacrificial tomb. Dumb as they are, they decide they will use the equipment to quickly have a peek down there and return very fast. So they go down, tanks at 100% as
Alexa
takes the lead and guides them towards a sacrificial room. Up to this point, they haven't even once equalized the pressure. Pretty often during diving, they don't even address this and dive as if it's not even a thing. Oh well, I guess that takes too much time. They fuck around a bit there, find a blind fish. One of the girls wants to mess with it, and this fish screams. And one girl knocks over a 300-pound pillar by swimming backwards, knocking it into the statues, causing a large dust cloud to envelop the screen. And for some reason, this messes with their radio frequency. One of the divers, Carl, bumps into them and asks what the hell they're doing down there. To which he asks why they also don't have a guideline to return them to the entrance. After that plot point to progress the movie is explained, the shark takes its first kill, which of course is a jump scare. Now, here's a little lesson about sharks. Sharks detect the electricity you create when you swim in the water or do anything at all, through their ampullae of Lorenzini. They consist of electroreceptor cells that are in front of their nose. You making the slightest move in the water creates electricity. Panicked movement, of course, creates more electricity and tells the shark you're either wounded or scared, which lets it know you are prey to them. They panic, and after a shot of the guideline falling to the floor, they go through the narrow tunnel that got them there in the first place, and the shark sticks its head in the tunnel up to its fins and starts jerking from side to side, to which causes the entrance they originally came from to collapse with the shallow rubble. Now trapped, they go back. They check their oxygen levels. They have been diving for 7 minutes and are now on 40% air. How the hell you do this? I don't know. We have about an hour of film to go, so how's this gonna work? One way to go back, and they go into the misty cloud, which hasn't settled yet, and the shark is gone. Which raises the question, how did the shark get out? Sharks cannot swim backwards. This is pretty common knowledge. If you grab a shark by the tail and you pull it backwards, it fucking dies. Yeah, let's see a movie with a character that knows this information and pull that off. That'll be interesting. They swim pretty high up and don't even try to stay near the ground where their chances would be better rather than in the middle of a pretty large room, leaving room for the shark to possibly attack from below or even above.
Alexa
Finds the lifeline and follows it, and through a pretty narrow passage gets into a room where they find a drone that's apparently scouting the place in a fair distance, which a shark, of course, grabs for a cheap jump scare, causing them to again panic, creating a large amount of electricity, which this shark's evolved and adapted senses should definitely pick up, but no, it casually floats by while the girls kiss the ground. And not even the bubbles coming from their masks are causing the shark to react, even though it goes directly over them and the bubbles are hitting it. The shark disappears in the distance and they have a sigh of relief and an alarm goes off, which shows that Mia has about 20 to 25% oxygen left. They make an escape as the shark jaws 3Ds itself towards them, and only at the last second, as the girls are safe, actually give enough of a shit to attempt an attack. They found an air pocket and checked their oxygen without using it. We find out that the rest has even lower oxygen levels than Mia did, but we didn't hear an alarm for that. I guess the others expended a solid 10% of oxygen in those 30 seconds of escaping. Makes sense, doesn't it? Mia then goes through a tunnel alone because she heard music and has the highest oxygen level. Ben, whom has a speaker blasting underwater music so loud it echoes between the walls there. The shark first bumps into the speaker and turns the music off, to which Ben goes towards it, and oh no, the shark jaws 3Ds itself towards him. He screams without even trying to dodge, and it cuts before anything can even be seen. Now here's another lesson for you in how sharks work. They attack swift, millions of years of perfecting their technique, and now there's this shark that's blind and somehow lost millions of years of perfecting the attacking technique that just slowly approaches its prey with its jaws slightly opened. How the hell did this species survive in these catacombs? If this is their only way of attacking, when the shark attacked the first guy, it was pretty accurate with its speed. Why all of a sudden doesn't it attack normally anymore? Did you bump your head at the entrance? Are you a granny shark? Are you a retarded shark? What changed? Mia then enters the large room and finds an alarm from Ben. We get jump scared by the leftovers of Grandma Retard Shark and squirms around in panic, creating a lot of electricity for the shark's heightened senses to pick up, as Mia's father tells her to calm her tits by grabbing her. The other girls get impatient and also swim towards the same room. They make a run for it and the shark jaws 3Ds its way towards them, as the other girls somehow spread throughout the room and start banging on the pillars and Mayan statues to mess with the shark's senses. Bravo, you did a science-y do. Now stop being dumb. And the shark keeps half-assing its attacks, to which it's 3/4 into the attack, and then makes up its mind like going, nah, I'm gonna go this way now. This happens 3 times, and one time, one of the girls actually kept banging for too long. But this is completely ignored by the shark, even though it's right in front of its sensors. Are you really that dumb, Grandma? They make a run for it in another narrow hallway, where the shark does the attacking and squirming thing again, but nothing collapses. We then see they made it through to an open spot, where they have this pulley, where you gotta pull yourself out, and only one person can go at a time. The dad explains it to
Alexa,
and she goes first. One pull upwards and they see that it's two sharks now, and they are still swimming in the water, creating the electricity at their height, to which starts to panic and grab onto
Alexa,
trying to climb the rope, which the pulley cannot hold. The dad screams that it cannot hold it and that she should get let go.
Alexa
Drops headfirst into the water and sees a shark approaching, but gets back up enough to dodge the apex predator. Climb up and the anchor snaps and drops
Alexa
into the water, and whom was holding onto a rock slips and falls about 3 meters into the water in a hilarious slow motion sequence and gets ripped in half, out of focus, in the distance by the two sharks.
Alexa
Turns on the alarm that Ben had on him earlier and hopes people will hear it. They think it causes the sharks to leave because of the frequency. Dad explains that there is a way out towards the ocean, but there is a dangerous current. And as soon as he explained that plot point, gets grabbed by the shark, dragged underwater, and never to be seen again. Doesn't even get an on-screen death. The girls decide that they have to go through with the dad's plan and use the alarm as a repellent for the sharks, whom bail on their attacks a solid 4 times. Like, legitimately. The sharks scrape by the girls, like literally touching them, but just dodging with their mouths. I was laughing so hard at this point. They find the current eventually, and Sasha gets dragged under after Mia can't hold on to her anymore.
Alexa
And Mia continue onward towards a cave where a shark sock puppet grabs onto
Alexa
and takes her oxygen tank off, to which she is still screaming with her last air and with empty lungs still tries to escape but is unable to, and gets the only on-screen death we get in the movie by drowning. Mia, meanwhile, got dragged down by the current and meets up with Sasha at a low point there. They decide they have to go through a tunnel that's beneath them, which they do, and find another large open room. Another shark shows up again, and how it got there, we don't know. And it starts attacking another exit the characters are trying to escape from. Their air is now finally running out. How they lasted this long with all the panic and stuff, we never know. They let go of the air tanks and get to the surface. With no way to climb out, they see a boat in the distance and swim towards it. Now, honestly, the first guess what boat this is, what do you think is this boat? It was the boat that was going to showcase the great white sharks, the regular ones. So they're swimming in chum, and oh no, the only guy on deck has AirPods in. He can't hear us. Oh shit, oh fuck. They get dragged under, to which we see the bully character with a bunch of other people in the below deck part of the ship looking at the sharks through the glass, to which we get a jump scare by the unharmed girls. What drags you under? Was it a turtle hungry for some puss? A shark in the distance approaches them towards the glass. Not a blind one, just a regular one, and bails on the attack just like the blind ones. Mia gets pulled aboard and Sasha is about to get out as she jump grabbed by a shark. Mia grabs a flare gun and dives back in. The shark is casually strolling with Mia in its mouth, not even shaking like actual sharks do, but just casually strolling like a dog walks with a stick in its mouth. Mia fires the flare gun underwater and strikes a James Bond pose while screaming, hitting the shark at a long distance on the side of the head, but showing a burn on top of its head, letting go of Sasha, whom is still able to swim to the surface and towards the boat. The bully character looks in shock as the girls come aboard, and that's the end. What a load of shark shit. Scientifically, this movie is all over the place. Nothing makes sense. Story-wise, its characters are just attractive girls with cheerleader bodies, which I find absolutely uninteresting. Did I get what I expected? Absolutely. Am I still disappointed? Oh, undeniably. 7 minutes and 60% of your oxygen is gone. An hour later and you still have 10% left, even with all the panicking, all the fast breathing, everything? The only thing I can give it credit for is the showing of the Mayan catacombs and some of the underwater sets. But the CGI, story, characters all sucked my salty marine biology mad nuts. It's like The Descent if it was underwater, bad, and with two sharks, not showing any kills on screen. An absolute disappointment. But it already made its budget back 3 times, since people like myself are suckers for shark movies. If you want to see a fun shark movie that isn't taking itself too seriously, watch Bait 3D. It's trashy, but embraces it. This movie takes itself way too seriously, and I will probably never see it again. 4 out of 10. Give those skinny girls a sandwich.
Alexa,